Hello everyone, welcome back from Top of the Wall. My name is Mason Knopp, and I have a deck for you today called Army of the Dawn, a mono-white weenie deck. That's right, we are playing mono-white weenies. I kind of want to change it up every once in a while, and because I wanted to see how good Answered Prayers can be, a 3-mana white enchantment, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, we gain 1 life. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 3/3 angel with flying in addition to its other types. Until end of turn. Gaining the 1 life seems alright, considering that Stompy and a lot of aggro decks are in the format right now. Obviously, this card becoming a creature on our turn means that it would be immune to sorcery speed removal. And the evasion would mean, on our turn, we make it a 3/3, we get in for 3 in the air. Seems alright. Seems like definitely a potential card to really consider, and maybe it can do something in the format. Maybe it's worth something. So starting up the curve, we got the Deathblade Elite. Actually very strong creature. A 1-mana 1/1 provoke creature is already powerful in the mono white heroics deck, and it's actually a very strong chump blocker that can prevent all of its damage. So it can fog 1 creature repeatedly, and we can also have it push 1 blocker out of the way and kind of force 1 creature to duel it off to the side and have nothing happen. While Thraben Inspector is a 2-for-1 that gets us a clue, as well as having a body that's bigger than its mana cost. Then we have some Flare Husk, also for 1 mana. Just another 1/1 creature, but the equipment is the thing that gives it its power and toughness. So when the creature dies, we get to keep its power and toughness and move that around on other creatures. The Core Skyfisher can be used to just cycle through extra clue tokens with the Thraben Inspector, get us that extra 2-for-1. Loyal Cathar is a great creature to help protect us against edict effects, because its ability allows it to just become a 2/1 that can't block, so it can still be on the offensive at least, and it remains on our battlefield. It helps us survive the Chainer's Edict and all the edict effects that are in the format right now, especially against mono black. Squadhawk is a immediate 4/1 creature. If you find any one of them, you immediately search for the other 3 of them, put them into your hand, and now you have 3 more cards to just start throwing out these 1/1 flyers for 2. Easy card advantage and good bodies in the air. Then we have the Tactician, which actually is very interesting as a adventure spell. You can tap down 2 of your opponent's creatures, and then you can kind of push them aside, so that way your creatures can get in, giving you this advantage in combat to just like quickly swing in for a whole bunch and make sure that like your opponent won't win the race. Or tap down theirs, affect your opponent's clock, slow them down so that way you can catch back up. And then you can have this nice 2/3 flyer afterwards that you can cast from it. Then we got Daybreak Chimera, a 5-mana 3/3 flyer, but it can reduce its cost based on our devotion to white. So a lot of times it's just 2 mana for a 3/3 flyer, actually beating its mana cost, and is really powerful in the air. Last on the curve is Answered Prayers. Then for our removal and our disruption from our opponent, we got the Chalmano's Blessing, a way to give one of our creatures at instant speed protection from 1 color of our choice. Then we got Temporal Isolation, another instant speed card, 2 mana, and we can make a creature shadow, and we can prevent all damage that it would deal. So that means it can't block our non-shadow creatures, and it can't deal damage to us. It removes it from combat and puts the combat into our favor. Then for our mana base, real simple, 16 lands, 2 Secluded Steep. This deck is definitely more so on the side of trying to put a clock into play and have it outrace our opponents while being rather resistant to any kind of removal, and definitely make sure that we will outpace any kind of Stompy deck and overcome a lot of our opponent's creatures. We're not exactly super strong in the late game. We're more of a mid-game deck. We actually do some of our best work in like between turns like 3 and 7. That's when our deck is actually really strong and starts to hit for a good 6 or 7 repeatedly while having backup, and always kind of like having being 1 step ahead of our opponent. We're strongest in the mid-game. Now onto the sideboard. A lot of things that we would be afraid of are probably going to be, the control decks are actually going to outdo us over time. Relic of Progenitus will help us against any kind of deck that relies on the graveyard, like Tron or Blue-Black Delver, or some of the graveyard ghostly flicker decks that like to use a lot of recursion. A Guardian of the Guild Pact is a constant and consistent annoying threat and clock against the right kind of control matchups. Because just having a 2/3 that we can throw Flare Husks on for 4 mana is not bad. It basically would have protection from all of their targeted removal. It's a it's a card that they're not going to deal with over the course of the game. Obsidian Acolyte for the Pestilence matchups, because they can't end up wiping out all of our creatures with Pestilence. It no longer works that way, and we can definitely outrace them if they try. Journey to Nowhere is a conditionless removal spell, can remove any one creature in the game, get it off the board, and gives us Devotion for the Daybreak Chimera. One Fragmentize is a good answer for some of the random artifacts and enchantments just floating around in the format that we might want to try to get rid of. Enlightened Ascetic is a good creature that combos with our Core Skyfisher, so that way it comes in for 2 mana, gets rid of target enchantment, and then we return it with Core Skyfisher to do it again. The Partition Scorn is another way for us to do that by destroying just all of the enchantments. However, we don't like it as much because we do have Answered Prayers in the deck, but I feel that it is necessary. I'll definitely sacrifice an Answered Prayers in exchange for blowing up all of the Boggles enchantments. I am definitely fine with that. The Holy Light is there to deal with elves and tokens and whatnot. The Prismatic Strands is there to deal with the Stompy matchup. Not a bad idea to have a 2-for-1 against Burn, or just a good way to deal with combo decks. The Lone Missionary is a good creature to go with Core Skyfisher to help us against the Burn matchup. Sacred Cat can also help with the Burn matchup, but is better against some of the Edict type decks. And of course, reactivating Answered Prayers is not a bad idea. I am on the side of reactivating Answered Prayers. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to share this with somebody who might enjoy it. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. I would like to try to hit 1,000 subscribers in the next few months. Thank you for watching and coming in for that face touch.